This is a blog and good news update about the recent drought situation in England. Enjoy. Hello and welcome to Blog and Good News. Now, I would like to talk about a story that isn't affecting Northern Ireland, but is affecting some parts of the UK, and that is the drought caused by lack of rainfall. Currently it's East Anglia and the southeast of England that are in a drought, but the Midlands and the southwest are now at risk of going into a drought scenario if they don't get more rainfall soon. And it's expected to spread across the west of the country. Rivers in England are now at the lowest levels since 1976. And this severe lack of rainfall has not been seen since the drought of 1921. Now, these droughts are pretty serious as people cannot get their water, and hosepipe bans are now in effect across East Anglia and the southeast of England. But as well, the low water levels means that fish in England rivers are at risk of dying, and the young fish, or maybe even eggs, are at risk of being killed and being wiped out. That could cause fish numbers and wildlife numbers in England to drop quite a bit, and obviously that would damage the environment around it. But this drought has been caused by 2 years of lower than average rainfall in England during winter, and it is expected that farmers will not be allowed to draw water from rivers or the ground to irrigate their crops. But that means that crop numbers could be reduced by 20 to 50%. Which means that there could be a shortage of locally grown UK crops, and might push prices up, which would affect most people. Now, the government is suggesting that the water companies in England and Wales could invest in new reservoirs and desalination plants and better ways of transporting the water around the UK, because in England and Wales, the water companies leaked 3.3 billion litres a day in 2010 to 2011, and demand's currently at 17 billion litres a day, which means that the water companies are wasting 19.4% of all the water that we need for a day. So that means that every 5 days we are wasting the equivalent of a whole day's worth of water that is required for the UK, or in England and Wales, sorry. But really, this drought is affecting England at the minute, and there isn't too much danger of it coming to Northern Ireland. But the thing is, the drought conditions, they are preventable, because of poor water transportation and leakage from the pipes and other factors, and people wasting water as well. The droughts are happening, and even though it is happening in England, it could very well happen over in Northern Ireland. So it is up to everybody to stop wasting water, basically. And I would say that if we could all if everybody in England especially would just maybe turn the tap off and not use it so often, or use water more responsibly, then it means that drought conditions wouldn't necessarily happen, and the wider area wouldn't be affected. But the main blame should be placed with the water companies, because they're wasting a huge amount of water, and fresh water is a finite resource. There will not be any more of it. Of course, we can't desalinise the salt water, but it is incredibly time consuming and incredibly expensive compared to fresh water. So we need to make sure that we can look after water, because like oil and gas, it will, there is only so much of fresh water available, and it will take millions of years to redevelop. So we should really be looking after our water consumption. So just think about what might happen next time you turn on the tap. This has been a Blog and Good News update. Thank you for watching, and good night.